Hi, I'm going to talk to you about how I use solo and ensemble performances through Key Stage 3 to promote engagement and diversify uptake at GCSE. So I've been at Kings Academy Ringmer since 2018. We are based in East Sussex in a very rural setting. We've got about 20 feeder primaries, a small school, and I'm here part-time. Our GCSE groups have been growing year on year. I don't have any entry requirement for the course. This was the story when I arrived here. Music isn't for me. I'm not a musician. There was a very big perception that people who learn an instrument formally with a teacher are musicians. If you do grades, you're a musician. Otherwise, you're not a musician. Primary provision is patchy, although students just really enjoy music, as you can see. My current Year 10 group, the majority are not having lessons at the moment. So my principle is every student's got an entitlement to continue with music at Key Stage 4, and that they can do so without this insistence on tuition outside of the course. So I try to make sure that I provide everything that they would need during Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. So the things I've found that have helped the most are students' sense of ownership of performing and composing, and to create readiness for the coursework components of GCSE. And I rely heavily on Musical Futures. It offers a lot of support for teachers and students to explore informal learning, promoting student autonomy and independence whilst also building the skills that they actually need. I'm incredibly passionate about Musical Futures. I've been using it since I trained 20 years ago. My experience in all different settings has been that it promotes high student engagement, 100% participation, real opportunities for independent learning and a sense of autonomy, real opportunities for student-led learning and a sense of choice. They're building real-life musical skills, playing and chord chart reading on a variety of instruments, and the opportunities for students to work in friendship groups really creates a sense of belonging. Musical Futures online for performance and Youth Studio for composing have really opened up this in terms of equal access. So my Key Stage 3 curriculum is really based around performing solo and ensemble, playing as a group, solo performance, whole class learning to play using Musical Futures. They stay in the classroom using keyboard, guitar, ukulele. Then they go into practice rooms to make bands. In Year 8, very, very similar set of units to spiral the curriculum. And then in Year 9, we develop this into solo performance, and they still go on to play in bands. So through the 3 years, we'll work on keyboards, guitars, ukuleles, and chair drumming. Year 7, my focus is on this. In Year 8, I add in bass guitar. We repeat the Just Play system with more challenging chords and different instruments. If I spot Year 8 or 9 students that I think might want to do GCSE but don't play an instrument, I often encourage them to play bass guitar. Those that do learn an instrument, I'll encourage to try a different instrument. In Year 9, they choose their own song, and I can scaffold with Musical Futures Online if they need it. It's brilliant for integrating with theory. I use it to put rhythm notation into practice. We can learn about major and minor. They can learn about chord progressions, blues, cadences, ternary form. There's whole sections on set work. So there's loads of information in there. Why I'm so passionate about Musical Futures Online. I mean, the initial pedagogical approach of all learning in the classroom and imitating how popular musicians learn, I just think is invaluable. My experience is that it shows students at their most musical. There are now video play-alongs, and I'll show you some of the things that you can use. I actually use the play-alongs to create repertoire for our school ensembles as well. And there's now all sorts of things like composition packages, stems, singing, primary. It's huge. So Musical Futures, you can have a student login as well as a staff login, so they can log in at home as well as in practice rooms for me. Just Play is a sequenced set of resources beginning with just 2 chords, building up over time to more complicated chords and a greater range of chords. We begin in Year 7, learning E minor and G. The platform uses like the easy style chords where you can use just 3 strings at once for the guitar and the ukulele. I find this is really helpful with students. It's extremely effective. They pick it up quickly, they remember it quickly. The play along library is extensive. Things are sorted by exam board, themes, genre, difficulty level, starred difficulty, so students can scroll through, and this is being updated all the time. So the way that I would use this resource, we learn the chord, in this case B minor. They can do the easy version, or they can learn the full version depending on their ability level. Then we will move to the warm-up. So each section has a chord and then this rhythm notation, and I link it into how I do the do it nows. So here's an example. After we've done the warm-up and practice the chords, we move on to a song.
The most important thing to remember when you're playing in a group is that you change at the same time as everyone else. Okay, let's try that. 2,
Okay, so for solo, focus on keyboard in the first place and really focus on technique and performance from a score, because those are requirements for the EDUCAS GCSE board, which is what we run. In Year 7, we work on Ode to Joy, and in Year 8, we work on a simplified version of For Release. They feel confident, though, that this could lead to something at GCSE. In Year 9, I've been doing a whole unit on solo performance where they can pick from a specialism out of keyboard, guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and I offer them tried and tested repertoire which build skills for adapted musical futures scores. Here's an example of what a score might look like for them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, can you hear me?
So the benefit is that there's a tutorial, it matches the score exactly, and they can watch the hands, they can watch that. So I use different Trinity rock and pop and rock school curricula. They're really, really useful for this. There's loads of online tutorials for the different kinds of instruments, keyboard, guitar, bass. They can find the backing tracks online too. So these are the costs you're looking at for the platforms. Musical Futures, the premium subscription would have everything that I've shown you today. UStudio, really worth looking at. That's $295. That's an online DAW, which students can have the logins at home. Songmaker I use a lot as well. For part of Chrome Music Lab, that's free and online. So I hope you are able to use some of these resources. I've included my curriculum plans. I recommend looking through Musical Futures, get a free trial and have a look through. This is a great read if you're interested in that sort of thing. Thanks so much. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.